So here we are moving into the body. Long, slow inhales and long, slow exhales. So my theme for this morning is equanimity. So how do we find balance in this transitional time? I mean, you could say that life is always in a constantly changing transition, but sometimes the waves are larger than others. And certainly now the waves are quite large. So how do we continue to find our keel deep in the water, how to find our ground and walk in grace, even through life's challenges? So with that image, I'd like for you to really find your seat under you. So find your sense of grounding. The earth is large and constant. She is there. So feel yourself with your sit bones on your chair and your feet under you, that you've got this large, supportive, grounded, unchanging ground under you. That is your constant wellspring of support. And then above you is the cosmos, is everything from sky into the big, great universe. And you are this particular and unique connection between those two pulsations, or those two pinpoints of grounding and opening. So what is it like to keep your center amidst these strong gale forces around us? And so we're going to use these two polarities, or these 2 points of, I would call them heaven and earth, or sky and earth, as touchstones and as resources. So as you check in with your body this morning, if you notice that you have extra energy, sometimes that can be in the form of nervousness or tension or anxiety or stress or holding in some way. That usually is exemplified by this intensity of energy, this excess of energy. You might really get in touch with what is below you, that groundedness, the earth under you, as a resource that, just like we literally ground electrical wires in the earth, we literally put the hot wire in the ground, that you and your nervous system is another electrical system. And so literally put your ground wire into the earth, from your tailbone all the way down, your legs out into your feet. And any extra energy, any tension or holding that you have that you are ready to let go of, you can just send that energy down into the ground. Literally, like the hot wire of your nervous system. And in this Walking in Grace workshop that I am moving toward, I will be referring to things, that practices that we do in their little bite-sized morsels as pocket practices. So as we move forward in this next few weeks, I'll be referring to these pocket practices, which means you could take each one and just put them in your pocket and do them individually, a la carte. You don't have to do your full hour of yoga to have some of these resources accessible. So I'd like to just capture this pocket practice of grounding, of bringing your full mindful attention to your body. So doing that big body scan. Traditionally, we start at the head and we move all the way down through the body and out into the feet. And you can do that in several cycles of breath, being the experienced practitioners that all of you are. And then moving into this pocket practice of putting any of that excess energy into the ground. And the exhale is really your vehicle for that grounding and that quieting of the nervous system. So if you find that in your day, you know, the news cycle has you ramped up or anxietized, for many of us it does, you might just find your feet under you, find the ground under you, and find that slow exhale, even on a sigh, even on an out breath. So for just a moment, open the mouth and just let a big breath come out. And that is a process that we all do when we are relieved, right? So when, the end of a long day, it's just a process we naturally do. We take that big out breath to release tension. So hopefully that has helped clear your slate a little bit, and let's just move to the other pole, because simultaneously, being in this pandemic and in this long time of holding and isolation, you might find that you're actually on the other end of the spectrum, that you're feeling sluggish and uninspired or depressed, right? Which is usually a lack of energy. It's this feeling of lethargy or fatigue or exhaustion. So if that happens to be where you are more skewed toward this morning, we're going to open up that crown chakra, that Sahasrara chakra, right? So in the yogic system, there's this idea that cosmic energy, or that big energy of the world, comes in through the crown, and then it comes down and filters all the way down through that central line of energy, which is called the Sahasrara chakra, right? That central channel or midline. So perhaps you need to draw in some of that energy, right? And so the in-breath is the place where we draw energy in. And when we scientifically measure it, your heart rate variability, the HVR, is the increase in your heart rate as you inhale. So it's literally exciting the system just a tiny bit more. It's drawing in oxygen. It's drawing in that newness and that freshness. So on your in-breath, you might really imagine drawing in some of that large energy into you. And then the out-breath connects you to earth. So there you are, that lightning rod of two poles in between earth and sky. And so another pocket practice for drawing in some of that energy, and George beautifully already naturally did this in his body, was we're going to inhale and take the arms up. So there's this idea of reaching upward. And we know from Amy Cuddy's work that this posture or this gesture of arms overhead helps decrease your cortisol, increase your testosterone. It helps you feel more victorious in the world, more hopeful, more present. So we're going to take one more full breath in this shape. And then we're going to inhale and draw in that energy. So big in-breath. And then out-breath as the arms go down. I'm going to scoot my chair back so you can see me better. We're going to continue that breath practice. So connecting earth and sky. So inhale. Draw in, exhale, arms down. We're going to do it again. Inhale. Exhale down. So I know it feels odd. Usually we inhale and bring the arms up, and then we exhale and draw them down. That's traditionally how we do in our practice. But in this particular breath, you're inhaling and drawing the breath down, and then exhaling. One more time. Stretch the arms up, inhale, draw down. You're breathing in the cosmos, and then exhale, grounding yourself to earth. And just take a moment, bring the hands in the lap, and just notice how that feels, to feel a little bit more of that excited energy, or that present energy, that reaching upward, that hopeful, moving towards sky. Just notice how that differs from that more grounded, releasing downward energy. Take one or two more full breaths and just find yourself at that centered midline. So if you're on a teeter-totter, the best place to keep your balance is at the fulcrum. And we'll work with this in our balance postures today. So bring yourself into the middle of the teeter-totter, right? Where the variations are smaller between right and left, between one side and the other, but you're bringing yourself into that centered place. And then let's let the hands be representative of that midline, bringing those two above and below, right? That earth and sky energy right to the heart. And then set your intention for your practice. So finding a word to focus on this morning or a quality that will help you in your particular practice. Maybe you need to draw energy in. Maybe you need to move into a place of trust or compassion. So just see what it is for you that appears in your mind as an intention this morning. And then let's open with the sound of one Om, which we can safely do on our virtual screens, right? You can Om with abandon because you're also muted. So feel free to just really let it out there. Take a deep breath in. Sending out that big Om. And letting the head tip forward and let the eyes flutter open and the hands come into the lap. And let's begin to circle around as we often do, just circling and opening up the spine, letting it move. I'm going to continue to scoot my computer back here so you can see a little bit more. Taking some long, easy breaths for yourself as you roll around here. And then letting any part of your body get involved. Here is another pocket practice to just put in your pocket and remember. You can be seated and feel like, oh gosh, I've got so much tension in my body. You don't have to move from where you are. You can just start to roll around. You can just start to let your body move. I know your partner or family or friends might think, what in the heck are you doing? And you can say, yoga, I'm just moving this energy through my body, right? Not letting it get stuck and start causing havoc and disease in me, but I'm just moving it through. So if there's anything you need to move through, take a few more breaths and just continue listening in to what your body wants this morning. And that might be more stillness, so maybe you're more subtle in your movement. That might be more wildness. Maybe you felt really contained and stuck at home and you want to really open it up. So just tune into what you need and take another cycle of breath or two here. Nicely done. And then let's come back into center and just warm up some usual suspects. Let's start with the head by moving the head around in a circle. This is another pocket practice, is just getting all the joints online with some circular movement. So maybe going in one direction and then gently moving in the opposite direction. And again, you find any areas that need attention, you have that time and spaciousness to breathe into them, to allow a little more ease into those places that might be areas of holding, areas of tension. And then let's move from the head into the shoulders and begin that circular range of motion for the shoulders, maybe the hands on the shoulder heads if you like them, or just leaving the arms down at the sides if that felt better, so your choice. Let yourself roll around. Feel free to reverse that direction. Move everything around. And then as we often do, I invite you to make that movement bigger, to really take up some space, get your extensor muscles working. Sometimes we can go a whole day without really truly expanding the arms and the hands out, just getting that big range of motion. And let's move it into the elbows as we often do, kind of warming up those elbows. Taking it the other way. And then getting the wrists and the hands. Good morning, wrists. Good morning, hands. How are you? Rolling them around. And of course, you can do all this in your own particular way, in your particular manner. It's just checking in with everything. Everything that can roll or move. Let's get it all online. Let's get it all working. And let's lower that down and move into the ankles. So you might start with one ankle rolling around, another one of our primary joints that helps us move in the morning, right? Those first few steps, you can often really feel the night in your ankles. So moving them around, although many of us have been up for many hours. This is something nice to do if you do find that you wake up and your joints are really stiff, right? Before you even get out of bed in the morning, another pocket practice is just starting with some of this joint rolling. So starting with ankles, you'll notice that my knee, my hip, right? All three of those primary leg joints are already in motion with just this activation from the ankle. Let's go to the other side. I know none of this is news to you, right? We've all been doing this for a great long time together. So rolling the other side. And then for just a moment, let's take feet a little wider than hips distance and just warm up the knees and inner groin. So you're taking your knees coming in toward each other and then rolling to the outside pinky edge side of your knees, just as much or as little as your hips want to open. Knees come toward to touch and then opening up. Try that 2 or 3 more times. So again, remembering, just seated on the edge of your bed before you even brush your teeth, before you even get out of bed, here's a couple things to do to just warm everything up a little bit more. One more time. And then come on into center. Let's move right into K's psoas stretch. So from here, you're going to open out that right knee and drop that left leg down. Now you might stay there or you might move Virabhadrasana 1 pose. You can even stretch that leg out, right? So either way, either that drop and then perhaps same arm as leg that is dropped down. So if it's your left leg that's dropped down, it's that left arm rising up. Hips and shoulders are now moving toward the direction you're pointed. So if you're turned off to the right there, hips and shoulders are off to the right as well. I'm going to take a few more breaths. People who want more challenge in this pose, you can curl your back toes under and get a sort of long lunge pose. Can always be done standing also. Take one more slow breath, opening up the whole front side of your body. Imagine lifting up just a little bit more, maybe even leaning back a little bit. Exhale slowly. Let's bring that arm down and slowly release that leg and hinge around the other way. So variations of Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1 pose. So option 1 is just letting that knee drop down. Maybe your toes are curled under for a little extra support so that you don't get as much stretch. Maybe your toe is pointed if you want more stretch to really allow that hip to come down. Maybe even the back toes are curling under if you want that big stretch. So just find where is appropriate on this side of your body. One side might be different. And then that right arm extends, or whichever same arm as leg that you're working with. Breathing, opening up. Imagine stretching up from the front side of the body, really lengthening up. One more full breath, or 2 more full breaths here. And then release the arm down, release that leg. Let's slowly come on back into center. We're going to take the knees really wide. We often do this after standing, but let's do it before standing. We're just going to rock a little side to side. So a little bit of this hip opening. In case your internet has frozen or my internet is lagging, right? So just catching up with us, finding us where we are. So our knees are as wide as is appropriate for you. And we're just warming up the side body, warming up the obliques here with our, what I call rock your soul, or Ed calls rock your soul. Once you come over to that left side, go ahead and stay there. Option 1, especially if you have tight shoulders on this right side, is just to bring the hand on top of the shoulder head. Option 2 is to stretch that out. So you're both opening your hips and you're opening your side body in this variation of side angle pose. So if you want to do the full expression of this seated pose, you could stretch out that right leg so that you're in one diagonal line. You can notice my body here from my hand all the way up through that extended leg is one diagonal line. Or you can simply keep the knee bent. Take one more breath here, extended side angle pose, Utthita Parsvakonasana. And then inhale, come all the way up and let's do second side, stretching overhead. So again, option 1, hand on the shoulder head. Option 2, arms stretching out. Maybe if your range of motion will allow it, it's stretching out that left leg so that the left arm, left shoulder down and on the back, stretching out. Long, full breath here, just doing as much or as little as your unique system would like from you this morning. Take one more slow breath. And then inhale, rise all the way back up. Open up. Let's do a little spinal rolling up and down. So moving the whole spine and the back here. I'm going to invite you to keep your knees wide because this is an area we don't often stretch from. But if you'd like to bring your legs closer together, you're welcome to do that. Or those of you who are feeling real wild and crazy, you're welcome to stand and roll up and down with your legs extended wide. From here, we're going to take the chin and let the chin start forward and come down. So option one, the most supportive option, especially for folks osteopenia, osteoporosis, is going to be elbows on the thighs and just moving into a forward bend for your lower back. Option two might be hands on a block. I have an invisible block here I'm putting my hands on top of. Option three might be hands on the earth. And again, you're keeping your head lifted. For osteoporosis, osteopenia, folks who don't want that full range of extension, people who do want that full range, go ahead and relax your head, release your shoulders, and let yourself fold forward and down so that the belly is unobstructed by the thighs. One more full breath here. And then inhale, begin walking the hands up, rolling up. This is a variation of Pasarita Padottanasana, or intense stretched out foot pose or extended foot pose. Go ahead and extend the arms, bring them all the way up. Take that big in-breath. And then exhale, release the arms down. Nicely done. One more time, we're going to stretch the arms up. And then as you inhale, draw energy down with the arms. So inhale, draw hands down. Exhale, release the hands to earth. Stretch the arms up one more time. Inhale, draw energy down. That inspiring energy filling you, and then exhale as you generously release it down. Let's go ahead and come to standing here. I think I need to move my computer one more time. So letting yourself rise all the way to standing. Sorry for my people who are at home in the recording for that loud sound. And let's go ahead and come behind your chair. So getting your chair in front and standing behind it. I'm going to move my chair off to the side so you can see what my feet are doing, but just imagining that I had a chair in front of me here. And let's do some side stretches. So this first time it won't matter what my feet are doing because they're going to stay together. So we're going to find Tadasana. So you're going to find your mountain pose, your standing alignment. You're drawing your ears over your shoulders. You're drawing your shoulders back and down on the spine. Really keeping the shoulders right over the hips, drawing the ribs in, letting the feet be underneath you. And now you are the fulcrum. You are the place in the middle of the teeter-totter, right? So sometimes life can feel like we're always tipping on one side or the other. We're always sort of out of control. So how do we find our way back to equanimity, back to balance? And the answer on a teeter-totter is you get closer to the fulcrum. You get closer to the center. So come on into this Tadasana standing pose, another pocket practice to remember. I have folks who do Tadasana in all kinds of funny permutations. One woman does it while she's microwaving her coffee and she's standing at her island in her kitchen. She says, I just practice my good posture, my Tadasana. I've heard some people do it when they are standing in front of the mirror for brushing teeth, right? Just taking a few breaths in this standing alignment. So maybe think of one place where that might be helpful for you in your day to just stand tall, to stand in good posture, in good alignment. And then let's bring the arms all the way up overhead and draw the shoulders down and on the back. So here you are in what's called Urdhva Tadasana, or upward mountain. And take a long, deep breath in here. And exhale. We're going to do that odd gesture again, that as you inhale, we're going to draw arms down. So go ahead and exhale all your breath. On your inhale, imagine drawing energy down. All the way into the heart. Exhale as the arms come down. So there's that drawing in of that larger energy that's inspiring, right? So one more time, let's stretch the arms up. We'll practice that breath one more time. And again, we're in this shape of victory, this shape that has a lot of hard science around it, that just holding this shape in your body will make you feel better, stronger, and less stressed in the day, right? Amy Cuddy's work from her book called Presence. So go ahead and take one more big out breath. And as you inhale, draw the inhale into the heart. Arms coming down, and then exhale. Releasing to earth. Nicely done. I'm going to bring my chair back here. So we're going to keep the right hand on the chair, or, excuse me, right hand, or on your hip, your choice, chair or hip. And let's take that left arm up and over, and then go into a side bend, crescent moon pose. We've got full moon coming up tonight. So some moon poses are in order. So just opening up the side body like the fullness of that big radiant moon. Take one more full breath. People who want more challenge for your obliques, you can bring both hands up. Challenges the side body. Crescent moon pose. And then inhale, come up to standing. And we're going to go exhale the other way. So some of you might want your left hand at your chair to help balance, or left hand to the hip is another option. As your right arm comes up and overhead, or maybe both hands come up in your crescent moon pose, your choice. Keep breathing here as you open the whole side of the rib cage, the whole side body. One more full breath. Inhale, come all the way up, and then exhale, coming all the way down. Nicely done. Let's work on the balance here this morning, or continue to work on the balance. So if you're wearing socks, and like me, you are on a nice warm carpet and you find that is not as life enhancing, you're welcome to take off socks. If you find, nope, my feet are so cold that I need to leave my socks on, feel free to leave your socks on. I just noticed that you can't get as much grip when you're on a lot of squishy fabric surfaces. Sometimes it's easier on a hard surface. I've moved my chair off to the right, you're welcome, excuse me, to the left. You're welcome to keep it in front of you or move it off to the side. And we're moving into some known areas, right? So we're going to do tree pose, but the option is to perhaps add a side bend to it. If tree pose is a challenge on its own, please don't do any of the variations. Just do the traditional tree pose here. So come back into Tadasana first. Be the mountain, right? We're going to be the mountain that the tree blooms on top of, that is solidly rooted, right? That has a firm foundation for its roots to hold in these big winds. We're going to take our weight over into that right leg and bring that left leg up. So low, medium, or high tree pose, your choice. Maybe one hand coming in prayer at the heart, maybe one hand holding onto your chair in front of you or to the side, or maybe both hands in prayer, your choice, or maybe one finger to the chair. And see if you can grow upward. I know all of us have seen images of a tree that is at the top of a mountain that withstands huge gale forces, right? And is made stronger. The wood is made thicker and stronger because of those gale forces. So take a breath here and maybe extend out an arm and continue to find your balance by drawing into that center midline. Keep yourself at the fulcrum of the teeter-totter, or maybe both hands drawing up. Finding yourself being that tree on the mountain, growing stronger because of the challenges. One more full breath. And then exhale, lower hands, lower that leg, come all the way back in. You're welcome to, if your chair is in front of you, leave it there, or if your chair is easy to move and you want to move it off to the other side, you're welcome to switch sides. Virksasana, tree pose. One more time coming into Tadasana. So Tadasana, not just a resting pose. Tadasana as its own important pose in our life, in our practice, right? That's standing tall. Drawing the shoulder heads back. The heart is open and available. This whole front side of the body is strong, stacked evenly and in alignment. The head especially, that likes to draw forward for many of us, that we take the chin back and the ears back. So find yourself in Tadasana one more time as this pose of resilience, this pose of holding to your center deeply. And then when you're ready, bring that center midline of your body over the right foot, bring the left foot up, low, medium, or high tree pose. right? So your low tree pose might even be your big toe on the floor and your heel and your inner ankle. And you're welcome to even play with just bringing that up half an inch if working with the balance is challenging for you this morning. Or any morning. One hand or both hands in prayer at the heart. Find your breath. So see if you can continue to breathe even in these strong winds and challenge. Maybe one hand extends up or both hands extend up. You're welcome to keep one hand in the chair, help keeping you balanced if that's helpful. Breathe, slow cycles of breath. Here we are in this victory shape again. We do it many times in our yoga practice. No wonder our yoga practice makes us feel better, right? We come out of that slumped pose and into this big victory shape. Take one more full breath. And then exhale, release hands, release foot. Let's roll, move, or wiggle anything. I often like to roll an ankle, knee, hip around after balancing poses. I like it on both sides. We're just going to do a little stretch for the top of the foot here. So hopefully you can see the top of my foot as it's pointed. I'm still wearing socks. I'm going to take my right foot here and bring it back so I'm on the top of the foot. If you have any reason that stretching the top of your ankle or shin is not appropriate for you, you're welcome to just keep both feet underneath you and simply bend and straighten the legs. If you are a little interested in the top of the foot and this isn't dangerous for your particular body, it's going to be a gentle little plie, a gentle little bend of the knee so you can stretch a little more deeply into the top of that foot and then a rising upward. I'm going to try that a couple more times. If you don't feel a lot of stretch, you can take that foot further back and you'll feel like, woo, oh hi. One or two more, bend and straighten. And then you might curl the ball of your foot under, holding on to your chair, and then set that heel down. So we do this often. You might want a little more modified lunge, which is what I'm doing here, or you might want a deeper lunge, which is where you take your front foot further back and your back leg further back so that you're in a deeper lunge. And we're just going to inhale, lift that heel up, rise up, maybe come onto the toe. Exhale, lower that heel all the way down. So another way to access the calf and also the psoas. Inhale as you come on up. Exhale. Also keeping our feet really smart. Smart and accessible. So when we think about balance, right, staying really in touch with the bottoms of your feet. Take one more full breath. Exhale, come on down. And step that back leg all the way in. Second side. So we're moving to the top of the foot first. So you're pointing through perhaps the top of your foot. Perhaps you're keeping both feet under you and you're just bending and straightening both legs, right? That's another option. Perhaps you're stepping way back if you want some more depth. And we're going to begin to bend, stretch that top of the ankle, the top of the foot, and straighten. Try it a few more times, linking breath and movement, bending, straightening. One more time, bending, straightening up. Now go ahead and curl those toes under. So Jackie, I'm thinking about your walks, your sunset and sunrise walks to the village. Keeping your feet really smart and aligned, so very articulate with the feet. So we're inhaling and you're getting this articulation coming up all the way into the toe, and then roll down. Feel like the toes are stretching, the arch of the foot is stretching all the way down to the heel. Getting a big stretch into that calf. You can bend your front knee if you want more stretch into that front calf. Then we're going to inhale, roll up again. So you're really articulating through the whole palm of the foot. All of those places, getting a big stretch. Roll it down. Try that once or twice more. Inhaling, coming all the way up. Exhaling as you roll all the way down. So another pocket practice before your walks, right? If you find that you tend to be shuffling your feet or that your feet just aren't as articulate and nimble as you want them to be, doing some of these warm-ups for the feet, like rolling up and rolling down, will help just bring more of your body's intelligence online before you go to use it. Go ahead and step all the way back in. And we're going to come back to the chair, so we're coming on back in. So walking yourself all the way. And for just a moment, just lift up one foot and then roll it down. Lift up the other foot. So it's like a little tiny prance. People who want to do a little bigger prance, thinking of you, cake healer, prance it around. You bring that knee up, roll down. So notice that we are not with the chair, so we're working with the balance of just weight shifting. If you find that you needed the chair, you're welcome to come back behind. Take one or two more times, just to, so we're bringing that stretching and moving of the feet into action, right? So we're just weight shifting, just like a big walk. Last time, one, and then the other. And then bring both feet solidly on the ground. We're going to go ahead and move into chair pose or Utkatasana, coming to seated. So you might bring the backs of your legs very, very close to your seat, but not touching. We're going to take our sit bones way back as we often do. Sit down, take the sit bones way back like you were going to sit, but then don't sit, rise, stretch out. Nice, try that again. Stretch out the arms, sit down any amount, working those thighs. And now maybe stretch the arms up overhead to come into that tall Tadasana. And then exhale, so you're drawing that energy, that cosmic energy down, bringing it into some grounding. One more time, inhale, stretch up. And last time, exhale as you come into your chair pose. And then bring yourself all the way to seated. Nicely done, my friends. Beautifully done. If you need to roll, move, wiggle, stretch, anything, take one or two more moments for yourself just to get landed, get oriented. And then we're going to move into a twist. So drawing the knees together toward each other. Let's go ahead and twist, looking back behind you. Who is that behind me? What is happening back there? One more full breath. And then go ahead and twist the other way. Shouting is optional. You're muted, so you're welcome to shout as much as you'd like. One more full breath here. And then let yourself untwist. Come on back into center. Let's go ahead and get ready to open up that heart. So we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Some of you might stay there. I'm just going to show you what my hands are doing from the back here. So you might have hands on top of your seat and you bring your shoulder heads back. Some of you might be able to lace your hands together with your chair behind you here. And then offer the heart upward. And we're just going to take some breaths here into a big open chest. So you're literally offering your chest upward to the full moon, to the full sun. One more full breath here. And then exhale, slowly release. And let's bring hands on top of the kneecaps to do a little seated cat-cow. Again, I'll show you from the side, but you just stay where you are. So we're going to exhale, take the middle of the spine back toward the seat behind you. And then inhale, lift the chest like you just did, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, roll back. There's that earth energy. Inhale as you open up to that big cosmic grace up there. Exhale as you fold back. One more time, inhale as you open, infinite possibilities, lots of hope. Exhale as you gently just integrate some of that inspiration into the heart. And then come on back into center. I just need to check, here we go. All right. So I'm coming just a little closer into the computer here so you can see me better. Let's just do a few more closing practices here this morning. And let's move the muscles of the face around. So I don't know about you, but when I get stressed, sometimes my jaw gets really tight and I forget that our yoga can include your face, right? You have all these muscles in your face that you use all the time. So if you are not wanting yourself to be recorded, you're welcome to turn off your video camera. I think in the recordings, it's just me being recorded. So just in case. Let's go ahead and roll the muscles of the face around in a circle. So there's that systems check, that circular movement for the face. Go ahead and roll the other way. Come back into center and just let your jaw move around. Side to side, open and close. And then bring your first two fingers right to that hinge of your jaw, and let's just give the jaw a little massage here. So the jaw is one of these amazing joints in your body, right, that helps you eat and talk and open your mouth, do all those things, but it can get really tight, especially as we're holding tension. So let's just take and massage out some of that tension all the way down the jawbone. You might do that one more time. That image of gritting your teeth, right, and holding it in. So let's just let this release. Take one more slow breath. I'm just going to do a little self-care massage here. So we're going to start at the crown of the head, and we're just going to help massage out some of the tension. So a lot of us are feeling pretty touch deprived, right? We're missing all of our hugs. We're missing all of our physical touch with others. So we have to supplement that sometimes with our own self-care practices, like a self-massage. So if there's some areas, I'm getting my thumbs right into the base of my skull, my occiput, which is really tight. You might just find out where you might be holding tension in your head, in your scalp. Welcome to move around into the face, right? You can make this as light and gentle of a massage. Maybe it's just little raindrops tapping on your face, or as deep tissue as you might enjoy. Let's take and move down the neck, maybe the back of your neck, helping massage out some of this holding, right? If you've been holding a lot of anxiety or tension, it just gets stored in the body. Let's take one shoulder and give a little shoulder massage here. Remembering the days when we could do massage, train, and yoga, we will return back to those someday. Let's massage down one arm, just squeezing, getting all the way down to your hand. And then second side, just a little massage. And massaging all the way down, increasing the circulation, just moving out any of that cortisol that might be stuck in the body. Lactic acid, let's shake out the hands, shake out the arms. Another pocket practice to remember is this process of shaking. Again, looks very odd to the people we might live with or around, but lots and lots of scientific data about this shaking as helping move out stress and cortisol from the body. Often comes from the Qigong practice. So moving all that out. Let's go ahead and just take a few moments to just massage into the chest, into the pectoral muscles. You might find, oh boy, am I tight in there under the armpits. Yeah, Pam, could see that one. So just noticing all these places. Maybe you move down your belly, massage the abdominal organs a little bit, side body. Give your back a little massage perhaps. You're welcome to keep that massage going. I'm making little fists of my hands so I can have a little gentle massage on my low back, warming up that kidney area. So if it's possible to reach, you're welcome to have that little rolling massage. I'm going to take that down and start moving down through the hips and the thighs, moving down through the calves and the shins. Rolling down. If you find you came across an area that you're like, oh boy, do I need work there. If you have a tennis ball or you have something that can roll on your body, that's another great pocket practice for self-massage. It's just getting a little tennis ball that you can roll around on thighs or IT band or tight hips, or maybe it was that heart or that pectoral muscle that needed a little more deep tissue massage. It's a good resource for you. And then finishing up, and we're going to go ahead and find our way to Shavasana after your mini massage. So this is my mini spa treatment for you. After your tiny little massage, now moving into some relaxation. So if you like to recline, this is a good time to recline. If you like to stay seated, you're welcome to just nestle in and find yourself comfortable. If you need a warm layer to cover yourself up with, you're welcome to do that. And then after all of this movement and awareness and breath and massage, just take a few more moments to check in with yourself. Another really important part of our mindfulness practice is this constant checking in with the whole system. That helps increase our awareness. So you might notice, oh, I'm still holding tension or tightness in a particular area. And that awareness leads to action. Oh, I can soften that area. Or, oh, I tend to slump forward when I come to seated. How do I bring myself into that seated Tadasana where my ears are over my shoulders, over my hips, my sit bones grounding into the earth, my feet grounding into the earth, the crown of my head still stretching skyward so that I'm that luminous lightning rod in between earth and sky. So take a few more slow cycles of breath here as you feel those two polarities of inspiration and deep, centered, stable groundedness above and below you. And that your breath starts at the center of your body. Your in-breath draws that big inspiration and grace in to the very center of your being. And your exhale, releases any of that tension, stress, worry, distraction. Allow yourself 2 more full cycles of breath here. And then touch in with that word that appeared to you at the beginning of your practice. And if you can't remember that word, see what word arrives now. And just take a moment to reflect on how that may have served you in your practice this morning. It might be a helpful intention to take with you into your day. You might like to leave it here on your chair or on your mat. People who are reclining, you're welcome to start wiggling your fingers and toes, gently rolling over to one side, or returning back to seated. People who are seated, we're going to take that image of the 2 sides of the teeter-totter, and we're going to bring it all the way back into the center, to the fulcrum. Bringing the 2 hands over the heart. So the heart is our centered, balanced place. So thank you so much, my friends, for continuing to practice with me and each other and to create this resilient community as we do so. Namaste. So I'm going to turn off the recording now, and you are welcome to unmute yourselves and say hi.